It's the radio guy Mike Prince, and we are now with our follow-up interview with football coach for the Waller Bulldogs, Eugene Johnson. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great.
All right. Well, the last time we spoke, you had a 7-on-7 tournament for the 13th of this month. How did things come out with you guys?
You know, we were threatened with weather, and so we weren't even sure if we were going to be able to get the tournament in, and then it turned out that it held out, and it was a great day. We moved everything over to the turf stadium. Some kids, some high school-age kids, as well as for the home team, homeschool Waller, we had a good showing, I thought, of kids out participating, and had put together two teams. Which they were a little underprepared for it in that we haven't had time to get offensive and defensive schemes put in, and so we haven't done 7-on-7 around here for a couple of years, and so they were scrambling a little bit, but I was extremely proud. I felt like, as they kind of settled in as the day went along, got a little more comfortable in some of the later games, and were a little more competitive, and started learning the process of how the 7-on-7 games are played, and so I thought it was a really good day.
Okay. Now, for those who are not aware, how does a 7-on-7 tournament go? How are the periods or the quarters set, or is it set by plays? How is that set up and formatted, Coach?
Sure, a little bit of a mix of a regular football game and an overtime type setting. Of course, it's obviously an all-passing league with no rushing the passer. There's a time limit on the quarterback. He has 4 seconds to get rid of the football, and there's a normal down and distance is now 15 yards, and so there's 3 downs through 2 of the zones to advance the ball 15 yards, and then when they reach the final zone, the scoring zone, red zone, if you will, in 7-on-7 is the 15 going in. They're allotted 4 downs there to score. They score a touchdown, and they can go for 1 extra point from 3 yards or 2 from 10 yards. So it's kind of like playing football in a 3rd and long situation every play.
Okay. I was just going to say it's almost sounds like flag football on steroids.
That's kind of probably the best way to describe
it. We're talking right now with Gene Johnson, head football coach of the Waller Bulldogs. Just kind of competed in the first 7-on-7 in quite some time. Now, Coach, with you still fresh on the scene, what were some of the immediate things that you picked up on that you're going to have to incorporate somewhat in warp speed to get up to speed in a comfort level for what you would like to do with this program?
Well, I think there's 2 things that stand out, and of course, spring training is going to be a work in progress. And we have we're trying to be careful and tempering our expectations for spring training from the standpoint of there's probably 2 things that we're trying to get into warp speed, as you mentioned. And number one, that's just knowing the kids and where their best fit is from a position standpoint. And then secondly, getting them into place and then helping them learn the schemes that we're going to be running. And anytime there's a coaching turnover, we're going to bring in our new schemes and new offense, new defense. And so there will be a learning curve. And so the push to get things going at warp speed, as you mentioned, they're going to be trying to get those schemes taught so the kids kind of know what they're doing, and so then we can start focusing on how to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, the last time we spoke, you had a Cajun comrade that was coming on board, and you were still making some moves and mixes on your staff. How far are you along at that process right now?
Well, as you mentioned, we brought in Coach Lark Hebert from McNeese State University, where he's been for the last 17 years. We did announce another hire this past Monday, and our run game coordinator will be Coach Devion McKinney. And Coach McKinney spent the last 4 years with me there at Ranch. And as I am quick to tell people, our success that we had was more about players and the coaches and the guys that I had surrounding me and working with me than anything I could have had to do with it. And Coach McKinney was certainly one of those guys that was very instrumental in our success there at Cypress Ranch and helped us win 3 district championships in the last 4 years. And so he's going to be coming in and coordinating our running game and coaching our guards and our centers. Thrilled to have him. And we got another 1 or 2 that we're hoping real soon to be able to announce as well.
Okay, well, as the announcements keep coming, we'll keep an open ear to share the good news throughout the community. Now, there's another 7-on-7 scheduled event that the Bulldogs will be hosting, correct? And you can bring us up to speed on that one.
Correct. I think right now we're scheduled to host tournaments on May the 4th and June the 8th, I believe, is the other tournament that will be here at Waller High School. And so this one is going to be pushed up right to the beginning of our spring training, with spring training starting on May the 6th. And but none of that's very far away. And we did have our first parent meeting this past Monday night in the school building, and had a great turnout there. And we're really excited. I think we have some parents that maybe we can now be a little more organized with and structured, and trying to get set up and rolling for this next tournament. And hopefully we'll have another group of kids, a good group of kids that show out and come out and compete.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, if anyone wanted to just come and be a onlooker for the tournaments, are there any fees or any prerequisites for people to come out?
There are no fees. It's open to the public. Anybody wants to come and encourage the boys. And of course, there's the old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And so I think it's awesome when people express an interest in knowing these kids and encouraging them. And so they are certainly welcome to come and attend.
Well, we're excited here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We've been carrying Bulldog football since 2002. I don't know if you were aware of that, Coach. So we're a little long in the tooth with this process, and we're truly excited about what you're bringing to the table.
Absolutely. No, I did not know that. And, that's always one of the things I thought was neat about coming into a new place is finding the traditions. And so to see the program there and supporting the kids since 2002, that's awesome. They're fortunate to have that sort of support structure. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, sir. So the Bulldogs will continue to press toward the mark. The next time for competition will be May 4th. Coach Johnson getting things up and off the ground right now. Now, I know, Coach, you're going to have a little bit more expectation with this next scheduled event.
Yeah, I just hope to see the boys continue to improve. And again, as they learn schemes, and probably more than anything else is, it's almost an experimentation phase, if you will. They can take these schemes and run them and try to run them against different coverages and the learning process. And I think as they become more comfortable, obviously we want to become more and more competitive as we work to close the gap on the teams we're lining up against.
Okay, Coach, I got a couple more questions, and we're going to let you run off. I know you're extremely busy, and we appreciate you making out the time for this. But as you're going through these developmental games and skill processes, does it have you bring maybe plan B of the offensive scheme or defensive scheme you would like to run when you see the talent level that you have compared to what you would desire?
I think probably it might be fair to say that there's a mix of that. I think that, from my perspective, my opinion is we need to work to match what we're doing with our personnel. And so, just from a simplistic-minded standpoint, if our team has 4 really good wide receivers, then we need to spend a little bit more time in a spread offensive formation and 4 wide receivers. If we've got tight ends and fullbacks, maybe we want to spend more time in 2 tight end, 1 back formations, or in pro I formations. So I think that is a piece of the puzzle. From the same standpoint, I think that we need to be consistent with our system. We don't need to be jumping in and out of our system, but hopefully our system has enough variation in it that we can fit and match our personnel. So I guess I gave a long-winded story to say absolutely we want to start to identify our kids and what they do well and try to match what we're doing schematically to their talents.
All right. Once again, we're speaking with Coach Eugene Johnson of the Waller Bulldogs, new man on the campus. My final question for today, Coach, and it's not as intense as you might anticipate it to be, but why is it that coaches create all these different verbiage for simple 1-3-5 hole, 2-4-6 hole? I know I'm a little old and long tooth, but what's the purpose of all the verbiage?
We have some verbiage in ours, but we might be a little more traditional than what you might think. And so I can relate to you that those even numbered holes are to the right and those odd number holes are to the left.
Yes, sir.
And we relate. I think a lot of people, though, are doing it for a tempo purpose, and so that they can go fast and communicate at the line of scrimmage and be loud with their communications at plays, and have different words, I suppose, that they can use to say the same things that we grew up learning, but that would allow them to use their verbiage that maybe the opponent is not aware of what those words mean is my best guess. Sometimes we do outsmart ourselves a little bit and forget that it's a game about players and what can we do to put the players in position to be comfortable and play fast. And that's ultimately, I think that's the thing we're trying to balance.
Yes, sir, because it still boils down to running, tackling, blocking, passing, and catching.
Absolutely. No doubt.
Whether we're calling it hippopotamus, giraffe, or Geronimo, we just got to get it done, right?
That's it.
All right.
I always tell kids they want to know what we're looking for. I said, well, I'm looking for somebody that can take that football from one end of the field to the other end and get it in the end zone really fast. That's kind of what it boils down to.
All right, Coach. Well, we truly appreciate you taking time out for us, bringing us up to speed on Bulldog football. Remember, you can listen to the Waller Bulldogs in action here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the weekly Coaches Show, all right here under one roof at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Remember our social media handles for Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are at The Mike Prince Show. We are also at the World Wide Web at obnradio.com. And until the next time, you guys be blessed. We'll see you on the other side.